Okay, the structure, again, structure faces west. We're on the north side. This is the electric service panel. Excuse me. It's the electric meter. And these tops and the sides should have been sealed to help prevent moisture infiltration into the system. This is the grounding rod. We should have 2 grounding rods within 6 feet, which doesn't appear that we do have. And that grounding rod is an 8-foot grounding rod. It's supposed to be buried. That loop is even for your second grounding rod. And that grounding rod is supposed to be buried 8 feet, not 7 foot 6 inches. You'll probably never have a problem with that. Some electricians can measure the continuity and that satisfies the code inspector. That's what they did at my house. But I don't know that. All I'm left was 8 feet. All I'm left is the grounding rod wasn't properly buried. Coming on along. Inside the garage, again, the north interior wall. This is the electric service panel, the load center, the breaker box, call it what you will. It's not supposed to be hand labeled like this. It's not supposed to be handwritten. It's supposed to be printed like this. They even have the little stickers right there. I found that on the floor. I don't know how I got on the floor. That's where I found it. So it shouldn't have been handwritten. What else do we have here? Okay, the bonding location should be scribbled on it here. Maybe you could scribble it there, and that could be handwritten. Now it's bonded over here on the water heater, on the cold water side of the water heater. That's your electrical bonding. And you know, I'd like to think that any home inspector, any electrician would know that bonding was there. Seems reasonable. But it's supposed to be there. It's supposed to be foolproof. And this is your main ground, the one we saw outside on the grounding rod that's not properly buried. And we see that we have a single ground, not a double ground. Okay, what else? L1 and L2. If this was installed today, this is a safety device. This is installed today, there'll be plastic covers over these so that, you know, if you're in this box and you don't know that those are hot, real hot. Okay, if you don't know that, you don't belong in this cabinet. I get that, but you're supposed to have a little plastic rubber boots on there. And this is your main neutral, going back to the system. And that's supposed to be wrapped with white tape. Again, if you don't know that's the neutral, you don't belong in this cabinet. But it's supposed to have white tape to keep it foolproof. Let's just carry that on down. See these white hots going to the breakers? They're supposed to be wrapped with black tape. Again, if you don't know that's hot, but anyway, that's for a 220. That's for a 220, and that's for the air conditioning system. And that's... What is that? Well, that is just interesting. We've got a 40 amp breaker. Okay, 2 40 amp breakers. 2 40 amp breakers. Okay, this condensing unit, on a minimum, it takes a minimum of 40 amps. So the manufacturer likes the maximum. That's what the manufacturer likes to see. What is the maximum on this thing? Let me see, get my notes out. I don't know. 60. That's what the manufacturer likes to see. Now, ironically, when you replace the unit, it'll be more injury efficient. If you had a 60, it'd probably be oversized at that point. Maybe that's why they do that. I don't know. But anyway, it's rated between 40 and 60, and it's rated at 40. Just to let you know, it's smaller end of the scale. You might get a nuisance trip. I don't know. You might get a nuisance trip because the breaker's on the smaller side. But there it is. So let's stop back for a moment. Okay. Bonding location not labeled. No protective covers. Not wrapped white. White's not wrapped hot. Now we got our neutrals. And they can share a bus bar with the ground. And grounds can be doubled like that. But neutrals should not be doubled because they're carrying current. Neutrals should not be doubled. So we've got double lug neutrals. The panel has been screwed into place. It should have been lag bolts. Okay, screws are fast. They're tight, I get that. But it should have been lag bolts. Should have been lag bolts, or it should have been nails. And nails have a lot more shear strength. If this structure were to experience a tornado, for example, this cabinet would stand a better chance. Tornado's pretty bad anyway, we all know. But it'd stand a better chance of staying in place if it was nailed in properly than screwed in. Then we brought some more circuits in for the swimming pool. and that's fine. And they did a good job up here, but they're supposed to be bent back so that they're not behind these dead men, so that they're not in contact with the panel cover. So you have electric cables in direct contact with the panel cover. This is a non-conductive insulating paint, by the way. That's what I hear. My magnet sticks to it. So anyway, these are supposed to be farther back, so in case it melts down, it doesn't energize the panel cover. Also, you're not supposed to have more than 1/8 of an inch gap between the cabinet and the wall. So when this cabinet cover fits on this, see that little red edge right there? Cabinet covers like that. Well, our cabinet's not sealed. We got this big hairy hole right here that if there was a meltdown in a fire, it could wrap around and go back up in there. And so, okay. Again, bonding location not labeled. Single ground. Grounding rod not properly buried. Cabinet more than 1/8 of an inch. Cabinet screwed in, not bolted in. Wires touching pad cabinet cover. Neutrals double lugged. Hots not wrapped with black. Neutral not wrapped with white. We do not have the protective booty covers. And the labeling. We have handwriting instead of printing. That's what the manufacturer expects. They gave it to you. I mean, it's just right here. They wanted you to use it. Wanted somebody to use it. Excuse me.